Boom. This is attempt number 2. I am now parked on the other side of the building. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable even moving a little bit when I'm filming myself or something like that. God forbid I would hit something and, you know, all would go to hell. But yeah, now we're gonna sit here and wait to get reloaded here in a little while. Um, like I said, they got to unload all the inbound freight, and then they distribute it and then reload us later. So yeah, um, I'm so confused. Trucking with T-Bone. I went live and then I had to move the truck, so I decided not to be live while I moved the truck. Um, Miss TBT USA is in the house. What's going on? How are you guys doing? Um, but yeah, no, things are going good. I don't have any real concerns right now with the trucking industry, you know. And that's not because I'm doing anything special or anything like that. I've just changed the way that I operate. I no longer limit myself. I no longer say I'm like I said, I don't want to go to New York City, so I'm not going to go to New York City. If something changes, then I'll go there. But right now, I don't have to. I have a little system that's really working for me. Um, and it's not like that crazy. I usually leave the Midwest and come out east. Well, not usually, that's what I do. I leave the Midwest, come out east, and like run around the East Coast for like 3 days usually. Um, and this week, the 3 days I ran were a lot more profitable than previous weeks. I don't know if I just hit it at the right time, but I was getting 450 a mile on every load. Now they're not going very far. They're only going, I think the furthest load I took was 351 miles. So you can do the math on $4 a mile. But all super simple. A lot of people don't like to come out to the East Coast because they say, oh, we don't like the tolls and things like that. Here's a little tip. And it's probably something I shouldn't share. And it's maybe something you already do. But if you're new to like calling brokers and like booking your own freight, here's a tip. Brokers don't want to hear about our fuel costs. You know what I mean? They don't care. But you can get them to pay your tolls. Or you can say, hey, why don't you give me an extra $150 to cover tolls? And they will. And here's the thing, minus the bridges, right? Going in and out or going out of New Jersey, you're going to pay to get on one of the bridges. It's usually like 30. The most I think is like $39, right? So you're going to pay to get out of New Jersey. Other than that, you can skip a lot of tolls. You can skip tolls in New York. You can skip tolls in Pennsylvania. You might pay a little bit of a toll on like 95, like if you're running into Baltimore and stuff like that, but it's not expensive. And you can use that as a bargaining chip. When you're trying to book the freight, like I said, don't tell them about your fuel costs. But say, hey, will you help me out with my tolls? Will you pay my tolls? And you can tell them the route you're going to take and take a screenshot of your iPass account and they'll pay your tolls for you. I'm not saying they're going to do it all the time, but when they need a load moved, they'll pay it for you. Let me say hi to a couple of people. Shannon's back in the house. Trucking with T-Bone, Me Coffee started at midnight. So trucking with T-Bone, I started at 1 a.m. Midnight Central Time, which is what I'm used to. It was 1 a.m. Eastern Time. I already finished my coffee. Like I said, I do have these coffee crystals. I just don't want to warm up a cup of coffee right now in my microwave. I would love to get a coffee maker in this truck. Tell them about your deadhead. They love that. Yeah, don't tell them about that either. Here's the thing. Your deadhead is not the broker's problem. But you are right, trucking with T-Bone. There's things you can say to a broker that immediately is gonna like turn them off to negotiating with you. Telling them about your deadhead is one. They don't, you don't have to take a load that's 80 miles away from you. Don't tell them about that. You know what I mean? Have that if you want to get paid for your deadhead, have that in your cost. Or have not in your cost. Have that in your bid on the load. You know what I mean? Have it be reasonable. You know what I mean? I will say this. I talk about running short hauls here on the East Coast. Sometimes you got a deadhead to them. I think this week, my largest deadhead, I did deadhead 105 miles. That was because that deadhead of 105 miles earned me an extra $375. Like, well worth the deadhead. When I come out east, I don't worry about my deadhead because say you're in New Jersey. Anywhere in New Jersey, you're talking maybe at the most 90 miles of a deadhead. Usually average, depending even if you're in southern Jersey, down by like Vineland and stuff like that, you're maybe talking about a 40-mile deadhead to get a load that's going 200 miles and it's going to pay you, $1,100, $1,200. You'll see that all day long on the DAT load board where they're postings of $1,100, $1,200 on 170 miles. Call them up, see if you can get more. I'll tell you, it works. It really does. Trin says tolls are a write-off, so I don't care much. Yeah, just because something's a write-off doesn't mean you get all that money back. Like, remember that. But yeah, tolls are part of the business. You know what I mean? I dodge a lot of tolls. I'll dodge tolls if it makes sense. And what I mean by that is with fuel being as high as it is, am I going to take 80, 90 mile route around tolls that might cost me $15? No, I'm not going to do it because I'm going to spend more in fuel than I would on the toll. You know what I mean? Same. I'm in the central at the moment. Okay, trucking with T-Bone. We were up at the same time. Trucking with T-Bone, I think I was parked next to you at a truck stop one night. I've been watching more of your videos and seeing your truck. If you're still in this chat, let me know. Have you ever stayed at the Truckers Inn in Sauk Center, Minnesota, right off of 94? If so, I was parked right next to you one morning. And the only reason I know that is I remember I woke up, I liked the color of the truck, and I looked at the company name on the side of the truck. Shannon Thomas Trucking says, I'm getting loaded finally after waiting 2 days. Oh my goodness, Shannon. One word, Cargill. Enough said. Yes, that is a tough place sometimes to get loaded and unloaded at. I commend you for waiting 2 days to get loaded. That's better than I would do. I would not sit there 2 days. Yeah, I know you were being sarcastic, trucking with T-Bone. Trucking Ups in the house. What's going on, man? How's the oil field treating you? They're really lowballing on load boards lately. Yes and no, man. I don't. I know that it's difficult. Okay, like I'm not saying it's perfect by no stretch of the imagination. I run a particular lane that I used to get $1,200 for. That is dropping. Last time I hauled it last week for $10.58. They really wouldn't budge on that lane very much. And I look at it like this. Yes, they're beating down some of the rates on certain lanes. However, that $10.58 was still $3.27 a mile to me. Um, I This is just me. I have very low operating costs. I get okay fuel economy. If I can make that consistently, I'm 100% fine with it. I actually can gross a lot and I can actually profit a lot because, like I said, my overhead is pretty low. Shannon Thomas Trucking says, I always make sure I include all miles so I don't mind what deadhead is as long as it's covered. Besides, those are empty miles, which my truck is the lightest for best. Yeah, you're 100% right, Shannon. And here's the thing, this is the way I do deadhead. You guys might think it's wrong and all that, right? So I know what my cost per mile is in fuel, right? So when I'm bidding a load, if it's a very long deadhead, I will incorporate only my fuel cost to try and get to the load if they'll take it. The other thing is, like you said, Shannon, you're light, so your fuel economy is better. Um, Depending on where you are, it might not be a lot of wear and tear on your equipment to deadhead somewhere. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't think I should. This is my opinion. Let's say a load's paying 325 a mile. Should I get 325 a mile on my deadhead miles too? Like, I don't think so. There's people that would say I'm an idiot for doing that, but that might be the difference between me getting that load versus my competition. I know what I need to run my business and be successful at it. And if that means that my deadhead miles might only pay me 65 cents, that covers my fuel. Like, I'm okay with that. Um, you're dodging Chicago tolls for once today. Congratulations. Are you taking 41 up to 94? That's I dodge Chicago tolls all the time. Just because I'm super familiar with that area, that part of the country. I have no problem going around Chicago. Um, Plus the tolls in Chicago. I mean, so when you enter Illinois from like Beloit, Wisconsin, 90, you're paying a toll, but you can head down 39. You could head 90 is not bad, but once you start getting into 294 and stuff like that, there's no reasons to pay their tolls. Um, Not since I've had this truck. Haven't been in Minnesota in a long while. Okay. I swore, I mean, I swore I saw your truck, but if you haven't been in Minnesota, nice. Trucking with T-Bone says, score. I just realized I had iced coffee in my fridge. That sounds so good right now. I have my Gatorade Zero lemonade. This is probably my favorite Gatorade. And I really don't know why, because I'm not a huge like lemonade fan. Oh, it's lemon lime, I guess. But it's really good. I like it. Um, well, when I say that, I mean they post low and don't want to move. Still decent rates out there, though. Yeah, trucking with T-Bone, you're right. Like some places, certain parts of the country, they won't budge. I just shared the lane that I run a lot out of Minnesota, and it's a short run to Wisconsin. They're not budging on that rate at all. What they're doing is they're cutting the rate for the haul, and then they're incorporating fuel surcharge onto it, which is, you know, they're not a customer of ours. They are somebody we haul a ton of freight for, but they're not a customer of ours. So my argument would be, well, that it's basically spot market freight, and they've hammered the rate down on the spot market, but with fuel as expensive as it is, I think they're giving like, I think last time I hauled it, it was 81 cents for fuel surcharge. So it bumped the load up to 1058 a mile, 1058 on the total load. But yeah, they won't move on it. Shannon Thomas Trucking says, excuse me, I still got that cough from that virus that I had. Um, that's the only lingering thing I have is this cough that just appears out of nowhere. Um, I won't normally wait, but I have a good relationship with this broker. Sometimes I got to stick it out for them. It all comes back to me later, but also I really want this load because it takes me back to Wisconsin. Okay. Are you getting paid anything like a layover pay? If you sat for 2 days, you deserve some compensation. Um, I'm not saying burn the bridge with that broker if it's a relationship you've developed, which congratulations. There's a lot of people that don't want to build that relationship with brokers. I know they're not our friends, but having a decent relationship with a broker, I know, well, I shared a couple of weeks ago, this broker that I haul for, I don't even call. He calls me and he's like, hey, can you help me out? I'll give you this if you can help me out. You know, I like what you do. I like your service. Will Can you help me? And I mean, I shared a couple of weeks ago, he gave me was 100 miles, but $14 a mile to go 100 miles. Like, I'll do that all day long. Yes, I get some rates for every mile. Only sometimes I get a little bit, but of course, at minimum, cover the fuel. Yeah, and that's the thing. As long as you're not saying, "Oh, will you cover my deadhead cost?" That's not their like. That's they shouldn't. Like, people are going to disagree with me, and I'm sure that's why people do disagree with me. You're choosing to deadhead somewhere. The broker isn't forcing you to do anything. You've put yourself in a situation where you have to deadhead as far as you do to get the next load you want. That's not the broker's problem. Um, but yeah, if you can make it work to where your fuel's covered or you get something else out of the load for yourself, I'm all about trying to get the most we can. Like I said, get your tolls covered and then don't run the toll road. You know what I mean? Ask them for an extra $110 to cover tolls and then don't take one toll road. They're not going to come back at you and be like, show us proof. You know what I mean? Um, like I said, I took a couple of screenshots of my iPass and like the on the app and sent it to the broker, and the broker paid my tolls for me. Other ones just put it in. That's the other thing. If you're new to booking your own freight, I've been doing it about, I think we're about 2 months in now, of booking my own freight. Don't be scared to call a broker. The worst you're going to hear is no. Sometimes they might laugh a little bit and just kind of hang up. Um, but don't be scared to make the phone call. And don't, in my opinion, don't limit yourself to like one agent. You know what I mean? If you have a carrier rep or something like that, that's a wonderful thing. And they're there to kind of, help when you need it and you create a relationship with them, but don't solely rely on them. They're not solely relying on you. You know what I mean? Don't operate your business where you're solely relying on one or two things. That in this market can really hurt you. Um, keep an open mind and don't be afraid to make multiple phone calls. Don't be afraid to hear no. Learn markets, learn rates in certain lanes that you run so you can know what the high end is and what the low end is. And if the low end doesn't make sense for you to haul that freight, don't do it. Go somewhere else. Try something different. Like I said, I've started doing a lot of multi-stop stuff. Is it easy? No, it's not. Is it kind of a hassle? Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. Um, but it pay like for what I want out of my business, it pays me really well to do it. Um, The broker, Shannon says, if a broker hangs up on me, I won't try to work with them ever again. Um, it's, I have. I mean, I called a broker one day, and it's actually a broker I've hauled a lot of freight for. And I gave him a bid, or I gave him what I wanted on the load. And he goes, I can't do that, and laughed and hung up the phone. Um, I called him a day later and, booked another load through him. I don't know if he did it sarcastically or if he was, just being an a-hole, but there's days I'm an a-hole on the phone to broker, you know what I mean? Like, don't call me, I'm sleeping. I had a broker call me the other morning, um, which I followed tracking, I emailed, and I called their 24-hour number after the delivery was made. And this was at like 4:30 in the morning. I went to bed about 6, and the broker called me at like 8. And I go, what are you doing calling me? Well, did that load get delivered? I go, yeah, it got delivered. Check your email, check your tracking. And I called the 24-hour line, and I hung up the phone. Like, I was pissed because that's my time. Like, when I'm in my bunk sleeping, that's my time. I don't like to be bothered. Um, Trucking with T-Bone says, I hate that most loads out of Michigan to the Northeast. Or, hold on. You must say, I hate that most loads out of Michigan to the Northeast, the miles routed through Canada, got to negotiate on the actual miles on those loads. Yeah. Have you ever seen that? Like when you're on the DAT load board, they show you like they want you to go up through Canada and like then enter over by like Niagara Falls to Buffalo, New York. That is funny. I have seen that. Um, in that case, Shannon, you call back and get a different person. Sometimes that works if you don't like the rate too. Absolutely, T-Bone. Um, don't be scared. If you see a load on the load board and you get told no, and you see it there an hour or two later, call back. Like, and give them the same rate or change it by, $10 and see what happens. That's the biggest thing I see out here is, and when I talk to people, like they think everybody's out to get them. They think every broker is out to get them. They think, they just think everything's out to get them. Woe me, poor me. Don't do that. Like, my advice to somebody is, yes, times are different than they were a year ago, right? They're still good times. If you need to change something, look at what you're doing and maybe tweak what you're doing. That's your responsibility as a business owner. A business always adjusts and adapts to market changes, supply and demand changes. We're no different. Us owner operators, us leased on lease purchase people, like we're no different. We need to adapt. We need to do something different. I got a good buddy that hauls dry van freight, and I'll tell you what, he is getting beat up right now to the point where he is thinking about selling all of his equipment. And I had a talk with him the other day about, hey man, maybe don't sell all your equipment, maybe change what you're doing. Maybe lease on to a carrier that has reefers. You know what I mean? Because you can go and look at the load boards right now. In my market where I run, the average reefer rate, I believe I checked yesterday, was $3.42, where the average dry van rate was $3 or $2.61. Well, like if the average is that much greater hauling reefer freight versus dry van freight in the market I live in and that my buddy lives in, maybe change your business structure. Maybe don't run dry van freight. Maybe don't run the lanes that you're used to running. I don't know if he's going to do it. I think he's a smart enough guy. And here's the thing, if you're struggling and you think you need to make a change in some part of your business, don't wait too long. Because if you wait too long, you're always going to be, you're going to fail. Like if you get to a point where it's already too late, nothing you do is going to save what you have. If you feel like you need to make a change today. Yeah, I do that. Read my message about above about layover. Okay. Find you, Shannon. Did I skip it? Yeah, I'm getting layover detention. We'll work it out Monday before I settle. They're always fair because I saved them from having to find someone else. Yeah, well, good, Shannon. I'm glad they're gonna take care of you. Um, like I said, props to you, Shannon. I wouldn't have sat somewhere for 2 days. Like I just wouldn't. Unless I don't even know. I wouldn't have sat somewhere 2 days. I'm not a type of guy though. Like I run reefer freight, so my wait times to get loaded, unloaded sometimes are very, very long. I don't put a limit on how long I'm gonna wait. I've canceled 3 loads in 20 months due to like excessive wait times. Where I have waited to the point of like no return, meaning if I was to get loaded, I'm not going to make the delivery and it's going to like a Walmart or something. So I know that it's a reschedule if I'm late for my appointment. If I'm half an hour late, I have to reschedule. So then I'll cancel a load. Otherwise, I sit and stay because I know I'll get something out of it. Like some detention and, that's the other thing. I was talking to a guy the other day about detention, and I told him what this broker paid me for detention. He's like, "Oh, are you okay with that?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay with it. A, my reefer wasn't running. B, my truck wasn't running, and I got paid 3 hours of detention. I sat at the shipper for 5 hours. Do I like sitting at shippers for 5 hours? Absolutely not. But they paid me $185 to sit there for 3 hours. Um, yeah, I'm cool with that. It's not costing me anything to sit there. Um, I made dinner in the truck and took a long nap. But sometimes, what was that? You guys hear that? Heard something. Bull of the Woods is go up. What's going on, man? Yeah, pay without cost, Shannon. Absolutely. Um, people argue, well, you might have lost out on a better load or something, which, yeah, here's the other thing I do. When I book freight, I don't look at the load board anymore. Um, after I book a load or two, I don't look at the load board anymore. I don't ever worry about what other loads might come up. I don't worry about anything. Though I've committed to doing this, I've signed the Raycon to do these loads. I'm going to do them, and I don't worry about anything else. I do have a question though. I talked to DIY Semi about this the other day. I have started getting a lot of loads that when I bid them, they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem, we can do that." Or I was talking to them like, "Am I under bidding these loads? I mean, I'm bidding them above what they're posted at, and for the areas I'm in, I'm very comfortable." Like I said, I booked a load the other day for $4.05 a mile. When I called the broker, so they gave me $200 extra on the load. But when I called and said, "Yeah, I'll take it for this," I think it was $14.50 is what I said I would haul it for. He's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And I've experienced that quite a bit lately where then I sit here and wonder, like, man, am I underbidding these and am I losing out on something? That's something else I had to get accustomed to. Like once I agree to the rate or like they agree to my rate, whatever my rate is what I've determined to be successful for my business. So I got to get out of the mind frame of, oh, did I underbid it? Even though for the market that I'm in, because I know it, like I know this market very well, I'm right at where it was, 6, 7 months ago. Maybe I just get lucky because like they need the load to move. Oh, here's a guy. Hold on. How do I do this? How do I change cameras? Or how do I move this camera around? Let's see if I can do it this way. Oh, no. Guy pissing right by his tires. I'm going to yell at him. There's a bathroom over there. That's disgusting. What? Don't be that guy. Right here, there's like 9 trucks, and he's sitting there just D in his hand taking a piss. Come on. Be better than that. Flip-flops, too. I hope he peed all over his toes. Might work for the business, but you might be missing additional profit. That's the thing, T-Bone. I wonder about that. Especially, I want to say it's like the last 4 loads. And they've been really good. Like one load was $4,200 and it didn't go very far. And it was light. But yeah, I wonder, Fate starting at LOL. Yeah. You don't be that guy that just pees out in the middle of public, man. Too bad there's not a school around and he could get arrested and then have to register himself every year. However you do that, I don't know. Trucking with T-Bone says, you must have watched the video I posted yesterday about a guy pissing on my truck. Holy cow. No, the last video I watched, so I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube live stuff because I get along with a lot of people that go live. Yeah, come over here. Okay, good. I was hoping he was going to come over here. I'm not afraid. Like, if you act like an idiot out here and somebody catches you, I'm going to call you out on it, man. You want to get mad at me? Whatever. But no, I watched a video of you washing your truck, T-Bone. And then, what else did I watch? Did I watch any more YouTube yesterday? I watched Shannon. She did a video about needing to get an alignment. And then I saw your comment, Shannon. So, but yeah. Gosh, that's a nice truck. I'll tell you what. If I ever make enough money that I don't care that I throw money out the window, I'm going to get a truck like that. Big W9. Like that thing looks like it should have a cattle cage, not a reefer trailer. Huge W900. Huge bull guard in front. Huge stacks. Very nice looking truck. I am that guy in the truck stops. If I see a nice truck and you happen to have your window rolled down or something, I'll say, hey man, nice truck. Like I do appreciate a really nice truck. Maybe someday my business will be there where I can operate a truck like that and maybe run like small loads, 150, 200 miles. But yeah, I'm wondering if I should try and climb in the bunk and take a nap or what I should do. I'm out of coffee. Underprepared. Yeah, Shannon, I was a lot nicer about it than I wanted to be. Don't expect him to agree to clean it, or didn't expect him to agree to clean it. Well, hopefully he did. Yeah, people, that's the thing, man. We all work really, really hard. And even if you're a company driver, like we all work really hard. If you're a company guy that keeps your truck nice and clean, if you're an owner operator, lease purchase, and you keep your truck clean and you care for it and you take care of it, people don't care. They destroy it. You know what I mean? They pee on it like, oh, good, he did clean it. People just have no courtesy for other people's property this day and age. I got backed into a few months ago. and the guy just took off. Like, thank God my dash cam caught it, but like, who does that? You hit somebody and then you take off? Like, no, whatever. I got me. The guy couldn't speak English, so whatever. Yeah, T-Bone was. Shannon says T-Bone was gonna open a can of whoop ass. Yeah, I would. If I caught somebody peeing on my truck, even on my tires, like, who the f do you think you are? That's one thing that's really changed in the last few years for me. Is it's not jaded. Like, I'm not a jaded human being, but I'm just done dealing with people's crap. Like, I have no time. I think these last couple of years, something happened. Like, okay, this is gonna be loud every time I watch a replay. I'm gonna do it quietly. Oh, there we go. I'm just done dealing with people's crap. If you act like an idiot, if like that guy just sitting here taking a pee, I'm gonna call you out on it, man. We can be better than that. Especially, so there's a bathroom 25 yards. There's Porter John's 25 yards away from where he just peed right next to his truck. You know. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing good out there. I know the market is tough in certain areas. Hopefully you're, leased onto a carrier that might have some contracted freight, or you were an owner carrier yourself that was able to secure some contracted freight, because yeah, it is, certain things are difficult, but don't get discouraged. I truly believe if you're feeling a lot of pain right now, and I stated this earlier, change something, and change it today, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be too late. Like, I firmly believe that. I'm a little salty over recent events anyways, and just can't deal with stupid. Yeah, trucking with T-Bone, I agree with you, man. And I don't know like what events you're talking about, but I'm just saying the last couple of years just really have changed my perspective on things. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. Like, I'm a laid back. I really don't get into people's lives. Like, I don't care how people live their lives. As long as they're not hurting somebody, I like hurting themselves or hurting somebody. Live your life any way you want, and I am not going to interfere with it. Don't interfere with my life and the way I live my life. And I'm cool. But lately, I have a big problem with that, like that guy peeing on your truck. The lack of respect that people are showing other people is just irritating as hell. And sometimes you need to stand up. You just need to say, F this. Who do you think you are? You know what I mean? Leaky wooden yachts in the house. What's up, Insult? How are you doing, man? Now I'm running out of things to say. It's only been 30. The government is always interfering with our lives. Yeah. And if so here's the other aspect of that, Insult, is we can carry that opinion, which I'm not saying I disagree with you, but how do we then allow it to affect our lives? Where, yes, I think there is a lot of big brother going on right now in the country, right? But I'm not going to let it affect me, and I'm not going to let it change how I live my life. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to allow it to change my life. Shannon saying hi, or he's saying hi to Shannon. Well, the fact that he did it and then slow rolled over to the fuel island, went inside the store, I was like, WTF? Yeah. Yeah. How many times, you guys watch Tommy Unfiltered? Tommy Unfiltered lately has been talking a lot about, he's getting out, he got out of trucking, doing other things right now, which I wish him nothing but success. But he talks about like the urine smell and the smells at truck stops. And he's 100% right, man. Like, they're disgusting. you got to watch where you walk. Otherwise, you might step in a bag of poop. I mean, come on. Like, you cannot walk a bag of your own excrement to a garbage can. Like, I just don't get it. Let me get to a couple of these. Killian's Trucking's in the house. Ran out of time last night on 24, just getting home. First time I've ran out of time on Friday in 8 months. Well, I'm glad you made it home this morning, Killian's. Enjoy your time. For all you that don't know, Killian's has got a fabulous deal going right now. Someday he'll talk about it. Too bad I can't post on here. I'd post the link and let you come in, Killian's. Killian's, Shannon saying hi. Killian said, good morning, Shannon, and the rest of the chat. Well, good morning, Killian's. You gonna smoke some pork or something tonight? In my mind, I walk up and smack the S out of idiots. Yeah, Shannon. I don't smack people, but, like calling that guy out, man. Maybe he ain't gonna think, I'm naive and thinking, oh, maybe next time he'll think about his actions. He ain't gonna think about it, but at least he knew somebody saw him and he made a fool out of himself. Bull of the Woods, mega chain truck stops ain't it? Yeah, they're not. They're really not. I mean, they serve a purpose. I would lie if I said I didn't stay at major truck stops. I do. I got video coming out maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll wait till Monday. I was at a Ma Pa truck stop this morning in Delaware. It's a new mud flap stop. And I'll tell you what, it was a very nice truck stop. The leaky wooden yacht, if guns and cameras didn't exist, there'd be a lot more people getting smacked. LOL. Yeah, you're right. That's the thing. Cameras are all over this day and age. Can't go anywhere. I mean, I film myself everywhere now. It's funny. Like, I remember when I started making videos for YouTube, and I'm obviously not a big YouTuber, but like I was nervous because people were watching me. Now I have no shame. I got my stick out. I'm just filming everything. People probably think I'm crazy. Matter of fact, I had a guy walk up to me this morning. It was funny. If you guys watched Cash's live a couple of days ago, he was talking about a guy walking up to him at a receiver office. I had a guy walk up to me this morning when I was pumping reefer fuel, filming, and he walks up to me and he's just staring at me. And I look at him like, "Can I help you?" He goes, no truck. And I was like, "What do you mean no truck? We're at a truck stop." And what he was talking about was the road that the truck stops off. It's off of a major highway, but you cannot head south when you leave the truck stop. It's a no truck route. It brings you into like residential. You'll get stuck if you go down that way. But his GPS was telling him to go that way. Well, his GPS was Google Maps. Well, of course, Google Maps is going to tell you to go that way. So I did help him and told him how to get back onto the highway so he didn't get, stranded in a residential area in a tractor trailer. But I don't like people coming up to me, man. Like, I want to stay in my own lane. I'm big on that. Like, stay in my own lane, do my own thing. Whatever. I don't hit people physically, but mentally kick the crap out of them, don't you, Shannon? I've seen you doing your walking and your little like exercise stuff. You could probably whoop some butt. But you can't fix stupid. No, you can't fix stupid. You can only call it out. That's the other thing. I watched a guy the other day back into a truck, pulling into a spot at a receiver. And it was a tight spot. Like, this receiver was very, like, you didn't have a lot of room. Here's the thing. You have to know how to maneuver your trailer. When you have your tandem slid all the way up, you have a lot of excess, like, tail swing on your trailer. So when you're in tight spots, if you move your tandems all the way to the back of the trailer, yeah, your turning radius is affected, but you can turn a lot tighter into tight spots. And this guy hit a guy and was blaming the receiver for it. Well, this guy never got out of his truck and made sure that he had a clear path. He just kept backing up. Guy was pulling the air horn and everything, and the guy just kept backing up. If you're new to trucking and you hear an air horn, stop what you're doing and get out of your truck. Rand McNally RV GPS will work for you. I have a Garmin. I like Garmin, but unlike Shannon, I'm only messing with you right now. I hope you know that. I pull this out a lot. As you can tell, I use the hell out of it because of how torn up it is. And I use this a lot. And Shannon, what is that right there? What is that? Tell me what that is in the comments, Shannon. I'm only messing with you. I hope you know that. It's nothing but respect for you, Shannon. I have nothing but respect for you. But yeah, I don't rely solely on my trucker GPS or Google Maps. I do use both. Um, just to like, I use Google Maps a lot to like plot out a course, and then I make sure when I look at my atlas that the route that I want to take is truck friendly. Um, because I've gone up. Where was I? I was in Maryland, and it was last winter. And I'll tell you what, I went up a freaking goat trail. Like, I had no business. I mean, it was a highway, 2-lane highway, mountain highway, but I had no real business to be on that road. Like, and I followed my GPS because I was in an area I wasn't familiar with. I trusted my GPS. There was other trucks on the highway, but it's a route that I should never have taken. So I learned real quick, hey, do a little bit better of route planning when you're going to areas you're not familiar with. Get to some of these comments. When someone mess with me, lol, I'm a single mom. There's no fear here. I've made it through stuff successfully that other people turn into drug addicts over. Shannon, and I don't want to share too much personal information. Like, I know that that's happened to people that have been in my life. Like, I was a single father. You know what I mean? Not for a very, my wife and I, after a couple of years of dating, moved in together, and then, she she was a mother to my children. But like, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I'm only messing with you, Shannon. Specifically the RV GPS. Okay, I'll maybe look into that. It avoids bridges and bad areas for RVs and trucks. That's good advice. Like I said, I've only ever used Garmin GPSs, so I might have to try something different someday. Shannon, LOL. Okay, Shannon, good. You know that I'm messing with you. What is that book with red circles on it? Yeah, I'm glad you get a kick out of it. Some people just like drugs, Shannon, LOL. Yeah, a lot of cocaine. Oh, probably get in trouble for saying that. But yeah, sun's starting to get pretty intense. I am a fall guy. I like when the temperatures drop, and like right now, I only have one window open in my truck. It's because I think the fuse went out in the passenger window. I bought a new switch and everything, and I can't get the window to roll down. And then I looked at the fuses, and they all look good. So I don't know what happened. I gotta maybe bring the truck in and see if somebody can fix a window. Um, but yeah, I'm a fall I'm a fall guy. I like when I can sleep with the windows in the bunk open and don't have to have the APU on, and you know can sit here and be comfortable and not super hot in the truck when you're sitting waiting. Um, Yeah, I'm a fall guy. Plus, where I grew up, like fall was like the best time of year. We were getting revved up for like hockey season to start, football season. I played football too, only until 10th grade, um, because hockey. By the time I got into ninth grade, hockey like ran my life. Like I played it year round. I played it multiple times a week. Um, so other sports, I used to play baseball too. Other sports just kind of went to the wayside, which I kind of regret. I kind of regret giving up the other sports. Now I love hockey, but I was really, really good at baseball. Like I was good at baseball. Um, and for some reason, I just didn't have the desire to stick with it. I wanted to be a better hockey player, and that required me playing it year round and training year round and going to camps, and story goes on and on. If your IQ is below 110, you can't be around me. I don't know what my IQ is. They have those IQ tests. Maybe I should take one. Um, I did go to junior college. Does that help? Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm from northern Minnesota, so maybe I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree. We like fishing and four wheelers and stuff like that. I would say guns, but like I didn't really grow up around guns. I don't, I have no problem with them. They're just not important in my life. I know people that, that going out and shooting and stuff like that, like is part of their life. It's just not part of mine. I was more of the up north sports guy, fishing, four wheeling, camping, hiking, like that's stuff that I really like to do. And actually, in my, now that I'm getting older, I want to do that stuff more. Um, I think for a long time, I just really focused on trying to raise a family. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I definitely for like forewent doing stuff that I wanted to do, um, or forego the things that I wanted to do and the dreams and stuff I had. I really focused on raising my daughters. I wanted my daughters to, not that I'm a bad guy or anything, but I made some stupid decisions in my life, and I didn't want my daughters to make those same mistakes. Um, and they so far haven't. And I, like, my oldest has seen what dedication to sports, to education, to working hard in school has paid off. I mean, she's going to school for free, and she's got a dad that would do anything for her. You know what I mean? And she sees the value in that. Doesn't mean she's an 18-year-old, so she still does the you can't tell me what to do type of stuff. But you know, when I talk to her, she's actually grateful for like the life she had, which is really weird that an 18-year-old like thinks about those things. Um, just a couple of these comments. Newer trucks aren't as easy as the ones that what yeah. So like these new trucks, like I'm worried something electric might be wrong with it, which doesn't make sense. I've had switches go out before. I just think there must be some relay that I'm missing. Um, there's a relay in the switch though. That's the thing. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. Uh, I think you passed, Fade. Okay, good. Sorry, the camera now. Maybe I should move. I'm getting the sun and it's reflecting on the screen and I can't read the comments. Um, the shape tests and the IQ tests are BS. Yeah, like so I have taken stuff like that where I've also taken tests that you look at a bunch of pictures and then they go back and want you to remember what you looked at and remember like addresses on houses and things like that. Um, that was due to a concussion though. So maybe they were checking my memory. I got, I received a really bad concussion I was out of high school. I was in my freshman year of college. I received a really bad concussion in hockey. It actually really, like, I didn't get to play hockey for a long time. It actually had a brain bleed. It was kind of a scary thing. Yeah, I feel you there, Fate. I feel the calling to get back to earthly living too. I will when I retire back to growing food and getting off the grid life. Yeah, there's something about that that's intriguing. You know, there's a book that's called not The Call of the Wild. Um Wild at Heart, I think. It's been a long time since I read it. But it kind of talks about like our natural instincts and if you believe in it like I do, like we've kind of evolved in getting away from our natural instincts, the hunting, the gathering, the peacefulness of nothingness, the peacefulness of not having a phone. You look at our daily lives now, and they're so busy and they're so entrenched in all the electronics and everything that it's a disconnect from like who we really are as human beings. Now, I feel fortunate because I am from northern Minnesota. My family still lives up there. So when I need a retreat, I also have buddies that live up like I can go like when I go to the cabin, my phone doesn't work. Like it's serenity because when I'm up at the cabin, my phone doesn't work. I have to kind of get closer to town for my phone to come on. Um, that's that's peacefulness, man. It's the sounds of loons, the urge to go out and like it's gonna sound lame, I get it, but like pick blueberries, man. Like that's a lot of fun. I've been in the boundary waters of Minnesota picking blueberries and all of a sudden heard a noise and turned and here's a big bull moose, which scares the crap out of you because those things are aggressive as hell and never walk up to them, like never walk up to a moose. A matter of fact, just kind of very calmly and collectively don't turn your back on it, but walk away. There's something about being out in nature and seeing nature at work and realizing the destructive force of nature and how quickly you will like mother nature can kill you in an instant. Let me get back to some of these. You skipped the whole comment. Oh yeah, I'll go back to you. The shape test is what did I miss? Insult. Newer trucks aren't as easy as old ones to hot wire the window regulator, but you might be able to turn it on by running a hot wire to the motor on it. If it's okay, so I don't know where the motor is. Like there is no like where's my other switch? I'd have to take the door panel off, I think, to get to the motor. I can undo where the switch is and then pull out the switch, and the switch is like a big relay switch. And you just connect it to the wires and it's supposed to work. And mine doesn't. So I don't know where the motor is. I skip comments, insult, you know that. Maybe there's a relay switch for a relay that's in the switch. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the problem is. Um, when you have kids, your life is no longer about you till you get them off and running. Yeah, but I think people. This is gonna sound weird. I'm fortunate. My wife had a very tough job. She was a stay-at-home mom. Um, I think as parents, a lot of times the hustle of our kids' lives and the things that our kids do actually negatively affect us as parents, because we always feel like we're rushed. I've always felt rushed as a parent. Um, Now, I had a daughter that was a very, very good softball player that traveled all around the country playing softball every week on a different plane going somewhere else. Um, and I did that in hockey, so like I understood her drive. And then I have another daughter that's good at soccer, so we're running around for that. But like sometimes families just need to take a break. Like you need to have a day that nothing's going on. And I felt fortunate in the fact that my wife is a stay-at-home mom, because that gave us some time to like decompress and shut down and say, we're not doing anything. We're going to have family dinner tonight at 7 o'clock and we're not doing anything. And I know that really helped in like our family, because we're a blended family. I have a stepson. Uh, my wife was previously married too, and that really helped us even at a young age when our kids were young to like bond as a family and become a cohesive group instead of like all individuals. um, I've shared before, when I chose to become an owner operator, that was my dream. Like I've always wanted to do this. I have always wanted to own equipment and be out here trucking, right? Doesn't mean I can't do anything else. It's just been something, that I've always wanted to do. And when the time came that I thought it was feasible for me to do this, my family was a big decision in that, because we all have to work together in a family. And I needed to make sure that, I'll be honest, I regret some of it. I missed a lot of my oldest daughter's senior year of high school. I missed a lot of her last year of softball. Um, and she was okay with it though. And she was the one, when I was talking to the family about doing this, she looked at me and said, Dad, you always have taught us to go after our dreams. I think you should do the same thing. And I was like, holy cow. She was like 16 at the time. And it was like, wow, kiddo, like that was very insightful for a young woman to say that to me, and know that it came from a place of love. And then my wife, saying, yeah, it's going to be hard with you not around, but I'm strong and I know I can make it. And you know what? Like, I look at our lives today, and is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. It's a lot of phone calls, a lot of FaceTime, but we have a very good life. If I want to take 2 weeks off and go to South Padre Island, I can do it. If I want to take a week off and go to northern Minnesota and fish with my kids, I can do it. You know, I told you how to check the window motor that bypass any relay. Okay, I got to find that first. Snorlord's in the house. What the hell is going on around here? A lot of nonsense, Snorlord. Actually, God, I would love to. If you're still in here someday, I'd like to have you on, because I know I'm a small channel and I'm not gonna like gain you anything. Um, but I would be interested, especially if you're still in here, Snorlord. Um, how do you feel about the market right now? Because you do a lot of lives talking about it, but take rates out of it. If rates are bad right now and people are struggling, is it our responsibility as owner operators to change how we operate our business? Whether that means hauling different type of freight, maybe leasing on to a different company, even if we have our own authority that has like contract freight. What's your thoughts on that, Snorlord? I'd be interested to know if you're still in here. Um, Man, I skip over so many. I'm sorry. When you retire, get a sailboat. I don't need no sailboat. I don't know how to sail, man. Unless you want to come to Minnesota and we'll go on the Great Lake of Superior and teach me how to sail. I don't know how to sail. Uh, oh yeah, Moose will show you who's boss. Well, Shane, you're from Michigan. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, a deer can F you up too. So can elk. Like like those animals, like if you scare them, they they have an automatic defense. They don't always turn around and run away. Like they'll come at you. Um, when I went hunting last year, half the fun was sitting in the tree stand. The other half was picking off 2 deer to fill the freezer. Absolutely, Snorlord. Um, that's what I like about fishing, right? A lot of people will think it's crazy because there's times like I'll go ice fishing, and if I know I only have a couple hours to go ice fishing, I'll sit out on the lake. It could be -10 out, and I'll sit out on the lake on a bucket or on like I have my gear on, so like I have people are gonna laugh when I say this. My gear that I have for ice fishing has knee pads in it. I'll just kneel on the ice and ice fish, and it's something about like brings back some sort of memory in me of like this is how people used to have to survive. You had to go out and cut a hole in the ice if you lived by water and fish to fill your freezer. Um, I love some good tenderloins on a famous Killian's homemade buttermilk biscuit. One of them, yes, that sounds delicious, Killian's. Uh, Insight. I think they just want you out of the house. Yeah, they might, Snorlord. Every trucker's family hates them. That's true. No, it's funny. My daughters have made comments before. I've come home and like something's different in the house. I'll be like, "Oh, when did this happen?" Or well, "Why are we doing this now?" And they'll look at me and be like, "Don't worry about it, Dad. You don't live here anyways." Ice fishing people are weirdos. Come on. YouTube is censoring me, so I came back as what? Why is YouTube censoring you? I don't see anything real bad in your comments. Then again, I skipped a lot of comments, so maybe I missed something. Um, well, if you're being censored, I'm sure the crap I say. Anyways, yes, Norlor, if you're still in here, what's your thoughts on us as owner operators, as small business owners, if let's say we're not making it in the dry van market right now? Do we have a responsibility as a business owner to maybe think about hauling reefer freight? And I'm not saying that's going to save us, or maybe hauling different types of product and material, maybe investing in a different type of trailer or leasing on to somebody that has a different type of trailer. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on that. Uh, Hot Seat's in the house. Good morning. Good morning, Hot Seat. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to end this and maybe climb in the bunk and take a nap. Um, Keep waiting to get reloaded. I see a lot of trucks moving out now, so maybe they'll come to me and get me loaded quick. Um, man, I've been looking at some new trucks too. Oh man, I've seen prices come down on a lot of equipment lately, and I don't know. I'm wondering if I should take advantage of that, or maybe just sit back and hold off for a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna get off and take a nap, maybe make some eggs. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for tuning in here. Pivoting is an important skill if it is needed. Okay, I really agree with that, Snorlord, and I've done that in the last few months, like kind of changed up some things, and I've seen real benefit to what I've chosen to do lately. This guy needs to shut his door. So this place will let you turn your reefer off before they reload you, but they want you to keep your doors closed. I'm not going to tell them. Anyways, yeah, hope everybody has a great day. We'll talk to you maybe later. All right. Thanks everybody for stopping in here. Take it easy.